Hi, bitch besties. It's your main bitch, Melly. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to another episode of the Judgy Bitch Pod. Hi, Molly. Welcome back to the Judgy Bitch Pod. What's up?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be back
I
already.
am so excited. You're my favorite TikToker. I'm so excited to have you back. And you look stunning. Get out.
Thank you. I mean, I did just shower. Today was a shower day, so.
Oh, that helps. See, today's Friday when we're recording it. I had a shitty week. I've been waking up 3 a.m. every single night. I'm so tired. I can barely form words anymore. I mean, I can never form really words, but today it's even worse. But you look amazing. So, bitch besties, please focus on Molly, not on me. I have my radio face again.
Oh, you look good. Don't even play. I'm like, we've got the glasses and the bangs. We basically look like sisters, so.
Right? I love that. Well, we are bitch sisters. I love that so much. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for being on. What's new since we last spoke? How is the Vibe Protein going?
Yeah, so I got the Vibe Quotient out there. I know you mentioned that you used it, which thank you so much. I am working on getting the astrology piece kind of tied in there, and it's just a lot of coding work on my end. So that should be ready, I think, by the time this airs. So it's been fun. I've kind of like just had to work late into the night to figure it out, but yeah, it's been a blast. I'm learning a lot about coding.
I love that so much. And yeah, as you mentioned, I looked into it. I didn't need to spend more time on it. I loved it. It's so great. I love it. Tell the bitch besties again where they can find it. Cause I first looked at the Google Play Store, cause I thought it was an app, but then you told me it's not there. So tell the bitch besties where to find it.
Yeah, so you can find it on just like a normal web browser, thevibequotient.com. It's not on Apple or Google Play right now because they take your money and I'm not charging for it. So you can just check it out on any web browser, or you can find a link in my bio. On TikTok, I'm at Her Sharpness now. I think I switched my username after
You did.
last.
I noticed that. Yes. And please, bitch besties, check it out. It's such a great, is it an app, platform, whatever you want to call it? It's amazing. I love it. And you just mentioned to me there's also a feedback field where people can let you know if anything is missing and what they were looking for, or just let you know how amazing the platform is and how much they enjoy using it. So please go ahead, test it, give Molly feedback, and we'll keep you posted with any new updates coming.
Yes, please do. It's in beta testing, so I need all of the feedback and all of the testing. So thank you so much.
So once again, Vibe Quotient, is that how we say it?
The Vibe Quotient, yeah.
Vibe Quotient. I can talk today, so please forgive me. You just mentioned your TikTok and you changed your handle to Her Sharpness. I love it. Love it very much. And lately, your TikTok is on fire. What's going on? There's a lot of Taylor Swift content. What's happening?
I mean, listen, I am an insufferable Swiftie, and this new album has been a good moment to just kind of like use all of the sounds, all of the music, and get into the trends. And I do fall into this niche side of TikTok and the internet. It kind of started on Reddit, but we are called Gaylers. And this is really, it's not people who are just convinced that she is gay. It is people who have really researched her lyrics and identified a lot of connections with prominent literary figures to say, I think that she's at the very least not 100% straight. There's some queer vibes here. And so that is something that I definitely love to talk about on TikTok, which is also why I switched my username, because I think that I'm going to start just going down the more personal path with this TikTok. And then at some point, I'll make a more business focused one.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I enjoy your TikToks and I recommend it highly to everybody listening. Go find Molly on TikTok. It's Her Sharpness, her Taylor Swift content. You did the dance yesterday and I was literally like, yay! I was cheering for you.
Okay, it is so much harder than I thought it was. Like
It's intimidating.
Give me a few drinks in the club and I'm like, I am J-Lo, okay? But when you have to do choreography and use your face, I'm like, this is not, the kids, I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You're doing great.
Amazing. No, you nailed it. Don't sell yourself short here. You nailed it. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. I was cheering for you, screaming at my phone.
We'll have to do a duet someday.
Oh my God, I would love that. Did you see the Four Non Blondes thing that's going on?
Oh, tell me.
I have to send it to you.
Oh,
It's two
the
people.
song?
Yeah, where one sings the Phone Blonde song, and then the one in the background, has like a funny version.
Oh my gosh, you'll have to send it to me. I need to
I'll
see.
send it to you. So many people do it right now, and I'm so jealous and envious. I want to do it too, but I don't have anybody to do it with.
I feel you. Nobody will do TikToks with me either.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. And then there's another cute one that moms do with their toddlers right now, or maybe they're a little older than your kids. I'm not sure. Where they sing, I think it's also a Taylor Swift song, and they just lip sync to it, but the kids do it too, and it sounds like a duet almost, and it's amazing. I have to send those to you too next time I
Yeah,
see that.
cute. That's so
Yeah,
cute.
it's so cute. Okay, one last question for TikTok before we dive in our actual topic today. What's going on with the bread?
Well, okay, for my bread or Taylor
Yeah,
Swift's bread?
well, both. How is
Okay.
it connected? Explain to me.
Well, okay. So I have been baking sourdough for the last like 5 or 6 years. And specifically before COVID, I started and then sourdough kind of blew up over COVID because everybody was like, what do I do with my hands? So I was teaching a lot of my friends how to bake sourdough. And you have this thing called the sourdough starter, which basically it's like a pet. Like you're feeding it every day if you wanna be baking, like, I just fed mine, and so it's become this thing in the sourdough community that you name your starter because you have to feed it and you have to take care of it, and it's like
Yeah.
and so
What's yours named?
I had one for 5 years, and recently she died, and it was very tragic, and her name was It's Bredney Bitch. So I had to put her to rest, but, simultaneously, Taylor Swift, I guess, has been getting into sourdough. Makes sense. We're like the exact same age, but she did not invent sourdough, okay? But I've been finding this like niche of combining two of my special interests, Taylor Swift and bread baking. And so I had to get a new sourdough starter going. And like you can make your own starter, you can get it from bakeries. But with that, I had to come up with a new name. And so I was like really trying to figure it out. She had some good names about hers, like the bread of Dough-philia or the life of a dough girl, which I thought were really cute. But I finally landed on Zoe Kravitz because I love Zoe Kravitz. She's stunning and she's besties with Taylor Swift, and Zoe Kravitz just like really hit.
I love that. That's amazing. That's so awesome. And when I come visit you, I want to try some sourdough.
You bet. You bet. Yeah, I usually make focaccia because it's like a little bit easier than
Love it.
real bread loaf, but I make cinnamon rolls, pizza crust, tons of stuff with sourdough.
Nice. Are you into olive oil and like balsamic with your bread?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll bring some fun flavors and then we have your bread with it. I
Yes.
love that. Amazing. Molly, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited for this episode because you are going to read my astrology chart today. So let's dive into that. I'll hand the baton over to you.
And yeah, just to preface, I'm not a professional astrologer. This is just something that I've kind of been doing on the side, learning for myself, especially over this last year. I got this is totally not sponsored, but I got this awesome planner that is, it's by Honeycomb Collective, and it basically shows you all of your transits and it helps you really understand how your astrology is taking shape and it helps you to learn it. So yeah, you sent me your birth details and I'm going to get a little bit into your birth chart, but I'm so excited that this is going to be airing right when we transition over to
Yes.
Scorpio season next week because you are Scorpio heavy. Like you might not think that because you don't have any planets in Scorpio, but you're actually a Scorpio rising. So, what that means is Scorpio as a constellation was coming over the horizon at the moment you were born. And so we can really think about there's a lot of various things that you want to think about when you talk about astrology. First, I like to use it really as like a weather report, right? Like it is something that there are things happening in the sky and maybe if Mercury's in retrograde, for example, that's a really popular one people talk about. All that
Mhm.
means is that Earth is moving beyond Mercury, so it looks like Mercury is going backwards for a little bit. Astronomically, that's what it means. But astrologically, when Mercury goes into retrograde, Mercury can be the planet of communication and sometimes technology. And
Mhm.
so when it goes into retrograde, that might mean you have more prone to miscommunication. So it's just something that's like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. I'm gonna have my eye on if we're not communicating well or if something goes awry with my technology. And it just kind of helps you to kind of cope with the things that happen in life. So that's how I like to treat it. We're going to talk about a few different things. I'm not going to go too deep because you can go so intensely deep with astrology. We're really going to get into your planets, which is kind of your archetypes, what's acting, what forces are at play, the signs that they are in. And then those signs fall into specific houses based on your rising sign.
Mhm.
Have to know your time and place of birth in order to find that rising. Your signs will kind of tell you how that force is being expressed, and your houses are going to say where that shows up for you. So, like, the houses are kind of like the context piece of your life that these things show up. And then the planets and the signs that they're in is like how they're doing it and what exactly it means. There are also aspects. So, like, you might have the sun on one side of your chart and the moon on the other side of your chart, which would indicate a new moon. And that can have certain aspects for you. Those are like an opposition. So we'll talk maybe a little bit about those for you. And then, of course, there's also degrees. So it's like a 360-degree circle. And so each house has 30 degrees, I believe. So depending on where the planet falls, in those degrees, it might mean just a slightly different thing, like kind of the essence of the thing. So there's so
Okay.
much that you can get into with astrology.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy. But one of the interesting things that you said right at the beginning was that you haven't been sleeping well and you've been waking up at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. is the Scorpio hour. That is the witching hour. So that's really interesting
Knew
to
it.
and we are going into Scorpio season, but not only that, we also have so Scorpio, these houses are ruled by a specific planet too. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And so Pluto has just over this last week gone direct in Aquarius, and it won't go back into Capricorn for the final time. So this is a huge, like, 40-year transit of Pluto being in Aquarius. So Pluto's probably having a little bit of an influence on you because you are actually ruled by Pluto, with Scorpio being your rising sign. So it going direct may have caused you to kind of like be more awake at nighttime. It's also a very like nocturnal kind of sign and planet. But this is kind of a liminal space where your conscious mind is quiet enough for your soul to be speaking. So it's probably telling you something. Make sure you're writing down, especially if you're being woken up by dreams or if like there's certain thoughts that are kind of haunting you. Make sure to like you're writing those down, even if it's 3 a.m.
Yeah. You know what's funny? When you say Pluto, my mind goes to Disney Pluto, the dog, right? And you say, I'm ruled by Pluto. I'm ruled by a dog. I mean, duh,
That
Peanut.
actually makes so much sense.
King Peanut, he's ruling my life.
He's ruling your life. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. I know your dog is your baby.
Absolutely. That's funny.
So next week, we're going into Scorpio season. I think it's October 21st officially. And Scorpio, Scorpios sometimes get a bad rap because they can be very secretive and private. They are a water sign, and it's personified by the scorpion. So if you think about a scorpion, it's got a shell, a hard shell, maybe some ooey gooey insides, maybe some emotions in there that you're hiding under the surface. But it's also got that stinger. So, like, you do not want to mess with a Scorpio. Like, do not get on your bad side.
Judgy bitch.
Judgy bitch. There you go. And so you are probably going to be having a really long period of these breakthroughs of clarity because Pluto being in Aquarius now, Aquarius is despite what we might think, Aquarius is actually an air sign. It's not a water sign. And
Mhm.
so it is very technologically focused. I would put like AI into the Aquarius category, the drones flying, anything in the air, uh, really like novel thinking and community focused. That is going to be something that's really Aquarian vibes. So,
Mhm.
yeah, you might be experiencing kind of a lot with Pluto going into Aquarius right now, and especially walking into Scorpio season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is your moment.
Okay. Let's do it.
I don't know how much you have gotten into your astrology, but we kind of talk a lot about like the big three. So obviously, every single planet is going to fall into a specific house for you. But when they talk about the big three, that's your sun, your moon, and your rising. Really, because your sun is going to be like your purpose and like who you are kind of at your core. Whereas your moon is how you emote and how you kind of like translate who you are to the world. Whereas your rising sign is going to be like how people see you and how you're personified. So there's all
Mm,
these ways that we can kind of look at it. So your sun is in Capricorn. I thought it
yeah.
was really interesting. You're like right at the end of the year. You were like trying to be a New Year's baby.
No, that's the only thing I know about astrology is that I'm a Capricorn. That's
You
the
are
only
a
thing I know.
yes. Well, so your Capricorn is in your third house. And so your third house is the house of communication, systems thinking, and like your truth structure. So Capricorn being in your third house is actually very pertinent because Capricorn is this very structured sign. It's an earth sign. It's about your work and like what you do, your structure that you put
Mhm.
in life. So talk about, a perfect fit podcasting for you in your house of communication, Capricorn being that ruling house there, and your sun being in there. This is like how you want to show up in the world. Who you really are is like you're the Judgy Bitch podcast. I mean, this is the Judgy Bitch podcast. The
Yeah,
in
amazing.
Capricorn third house. That is what
And you
this
know what I do for a living? I'm an executive assistant, so that's
are
also
you.
very
So you're meticulous and you like are the detail oriented. So there's a lot of
yeah,
Saturn at play for you too. Okay. I love it.
interesting.
Um, and actually, your sun, I'm looking at your chart right now. Your sun is along with Venus and Mercury in your third house, Capricorn. So, Mercury, again, being communication. You mentioned like, oh, the words aren't really coming right now. Mercury is not currently in retrograde. I think it's maybe about to be, but you might be just having, I think actually your Mercury is squaring Mercury in Scorpio right now. So you might be just having some like tension with like getting your words out in the way that you want, especially in a podcast environment. But Venus being in your third house, Capricorn, is also a really beautiful sign. Venus is the sign of beauty and art and creation and love. And so it makes a ton of sense that you would have all of these planets kind of conjunct or like together in a small stellium in your third house. So that's very cool.
That is also very interesting. As I mentioned to you, I have a surgery next week because I have a uterus fibroid, which makes me look like 5 months pregnant. And now that I get it out, makes me go back to my normal figure. So beauty, here I come.
Here you come. Exactly. And you're like, yeah, you're like, I need to get this
Yeah,
scheduled so that I can feel right in my body for sure.
that's amazing. I mean, that's interesting how fitting it is, right?
I mean, yeah, you with even just with your son here, it's like you like precision, you want to take responsibility of this facet of your life and shared with Mercury and Venus, it can give you this sense of like eloquence and a very grounded voice. People like to talk to you. So
Um,
ton of sense. You've got to just remember to give yourself permission to say the things that are really like in your heart and trying to come out. So that would piece for you there.
yeah. Oh, that's a very good point you're making there. I definitely struggle with that. So yeah, love that.
Don't be afraid to. I think that's like trust your authentic voice because it's the stars are aligned for you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. The stars are aligned. I love it.
Okay, so let's get into your moon sign. You've
Mhm,
got your moon in Cancer,
mhm.
and it is in your technically it's in your 8th house, but some people read astrology in different ways where it's like either a whole sign or it's an exact, but I think within a whole sign pattern, you would actually have this within your 9th house. So with your moon being in Cancer, Cancer is actually ruled by the moon, so it would be in its exaltation. So your moon likes being there. Your moon is your emotions, and Cancer by proxy is a very emotionally driven sign. It's
Mm,
also a water sign. think about, everything that the moon does with the tides and currents. That is very Cancerian. Again, a shell, and you've got your like pinchers. So it's like if somebody gets in on your emotions, you're probably like quick to come at them. But I would venture to guess that you probably lean more into sadness than you do into anger. Would that be accurate?
100%. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm very emotional.
Yeah, that is your Cancer moon. I mean, and it's like it probably is actually one of your best traits because Cancer, with the moon in there and its exaltation, it's like it likes being in there. But like, and I have a Cancer sun and stellium. And so it's like, I love to watch The Notebook and cry. Like sometimes I just know that
Yeah.
I need to cry, I feel like
Yeah.
that we can relate on that.
Oh my God. I am so emotional. Somebody says happy birthday in a movie and I start crying.
Yes. You're like yeah, like, or people kept running to their dad who got home from the military or something,
No,
like,
no,
or
I'm
the
losing it.
dog. Have
I
you seen the
can't.
one with the dogs seeing their owner come back?
No, stop. I can't.
You're gonna cry right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, with your okay, so with this in your ninth house, the ninth house is really tied to spirituality and making
Yeah.
your purpose and your meaning. So you might feel most nurtured through building wisdom and building spiritual wisdom, even if that like causes a lot of emotional strife, a lot of travel, and finding truth in anything that you're doing, kind of getting to the bottom of things. So just kind of be thinking about what kinds of teachings will it really resonate with you spiritually, or what kind of truths make you feel very like at home.
I
So, with your moon and Cancer in your ninth house, it's going to be very tied to your spirituality and how you make meaning, any of like the belief systems that you kind of subscribe to. And so, you're going to feel most nurtured when you're either traveling and like learning through expanding your worldview or gaining new wisdom. Higher teaching, even meditation would very much fall in this place, and just finding your sense of truth, especially within like how it affects you emotionally. So just
mm,
kind of be thinking about like what kinds of teachings and like what core truths make you feel the most at home. Like, and this is coming up for me. This is so weird. I took a new wave German cinema class in college, and I remember the term Heimat,
yeah.
that sense of home.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
amazing. I can remember that.
yeah, that's I have not thought about that in so long, and that is what that would mean for you. Like, where do you feel the most at home? I kinda just gave myself chills. That was fun.
That is incredible. I mean, my jaw just dropped. I don't even know what to say. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, "Oh my gosh, and you're from Berlin, and
Yeah.
there's German in my head.
Amazing.
Your spirits must be around." I'm like, I don't claim to talk to spirits yet. Maybe in deep meditation, but somebody was saying something.
Did I tell you that? Sorry to interrupt and sidetrack, but my cousin recently passed away and I wasn't very close with him, but ever since he passed away, whenever I look at the time, it's 4:44, 3:33, 2:22. Like it's weird. Ever since he passed away, it's always happening to me. So I do believe my spirits are around. Maybe my cousin is floating around here somewhere.
I mean, honestly, you should light a candle or talk to him or maybe like just reminisce on that because I am so those synchronicities, like you should pay attention to them. They make life so much richer and so much
Yeah,
to feel our spirits around us, I think at least. So,
I agree 100% wholeheartedly.
oh, that's amazing. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back into your rising sign being in Scorpio. So, your first impression that you might give people with Scorpio. So again, we kind of talked about what Scorpio is already, but there is like a depth and kind of like a people might meet you and be like, "I want to know more about you." Like you have a magnetic quality, but you're not showing everything right off the bat. There's something that maybe is a little bit deeper and maybe even darker, like mystery that people might be able to see and like want to know more about with you. And so, with your rising being here, this could also help to show where your life path is headed. And your life path is really going to be geared towards transformation, emotional mastery. So, that like moon in Cancer, it's like, okay, we got to control you. So, like, finding the way to, like, lasso your moon in Cancer with your Scorpio and be like, "We're not gonna cry today."
Well, that's a goal.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, okay. So your chart ruler is Pluto. We talked about Pluto being in Aquarius right now, but where Pluto lands for you is actually in your 12th house. Your 12th house is actually going to be it's like that's like the life or death house. And
Mhm.
Pluto tends to also have a lot of life and death themes as well. In Libra, the sign of balance and justice, you may have there may be something that resonates with you around like karma and your ancestry. I know for me personally, like my 12th house is where I've been doing a lot of shadow work and kind of understanding the mother wound and like my mother's mother's mother, and just trying to understand like what maybe were some things that have been carried through the various generations to create my life in the way that it is today. So that could be a really good place to focus with for you, especially with Pluto moving into Aquarius. It is about like those kind of like more broad themes and just being more open to spirit and ancestry. When I actually had a pretty big Pluto transit with this Aquarius too, and I got into my ancestry, and I actually found my 13th great grandmother was one of the first women burned alive at the stake in Scotland for being accused of being a witch. And I was like, well, that makes sense. There's like a persecution, there's things that we are like dealing with as women, especially within that like womb generational
Yeah,
ancestry, that I think it's really important for us to just understand and know a little bit better. So maybe like
that's amazing. That's a
find,
great information to have.
yeah,
Does it empower you a little bit knowing that, yeah,
for sure. I mean, it empowers me a ton to like know that, but also to get into understanding like where all of my ancestors come from and starting to kind of study maybe what they were into spiritually or what rituals they were into, because especially like living in America, we're all just trying to figure out what resonates with us.
yeah,
We're kind of brought up in one way, but it's likely not the way of our ancestors. And so I think it's super important. Like your 12th
yeah.
tell you a lot with the karma and the death cycles that have been repeating themselves.
Interesting. I'm gonna look into that, where my ancestors are from.
Yeah, you definitely should. Some people, I've talked to some people and they're like, I'm scared. I don't want to know if my ancestors like did bad stuff. And I'm like, do you see the color of my skin? My ancestors did bad stuff. Like
Mm.
they did. So we got to know that. And it's kind of up to us to like reconcile that and be like, well, that's why I'm not going to do that thing. Or that's how I can like get out of this feeling of guilt in some way for something I didn't do.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's important.
yeah. I mean, say it louder for the people in the back, right?
Yeah, like I'm like, if you are white, your ancestors probably did some messed up stuff.
That's still doing it. Haven't
It's
learned
still real.
anything. Look at what's going on right now.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk other themes. Um, we talked about Pluto a little bit. We've got Mars, which is in Aquarius. I did want to get into this a little bit. So you've got Mars like right smack in the middle of Aquarius, which is where your houses technically shift over. So we're going to use it as though it's in the fourth house, this is like your home and family space. What's interesting about this is like, okay, so Pluto has just entered Aquarius. You've got Mars in Aquarius kind of halfway through. Wouldn't expect it for a while, but maybe in the next like 5, 10 years, you might be having some experiences specifically within the home and family space or things that you've created where Pluto is transiting and saying like, okay, it might be time to like there may be deaths in the family, or you may like there may be relationships that end. There might be just kind of like it's kind of this bookending of a cycle, and Mars is the planet of war and initiation, and it can be a little bit fiery. So we'll talk in like 5 or 10 years and see how that's
Okay.
real. Another one we got was Chiron. So Chiron is actually an asteroid, but it is very centered around the wounded warrior, the things that like you have to heal in yourself and you have to
Mm,
really fight to heal in yourself. And so there may be some relational wounds that you could be feeling around your worth, your self-worth, or like stability. Taurus being the earth sign that it is, represented by the bull. You know, there is like a sturdiness there. And like I always picture the bull on Wall Street, you know, like
mhm.
it's very like financial and structured. And so there your Chiron being there just could be something around your sense of worth. And it's also in your seventh house of partnerships. So that could be a little bit more around like relationships, romantic or otherwise,
Mm,
finding worth and stability there.
that makes total sense. What you maybe don't know about me is that I'm divorced and I
Okay.
had a very abusive, emotionally, specifically abusive marriage. So it makes total sense. And I'm still healing from that. And although it's been almost 10 years that I got out of it, but I'm still healing from that. Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
total
I mean,
sense.
I'm sure it's going to be a lifetime of healing. And
Yeah.
yeah, that is something that would very much be in line with the big theme that you have to heal and feel so that you can understand how worthy you are and like how resilient you are. That stability to be able to leave something like that
Yeah.
is, you know, so many people can't leave those situations.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you definitely give yourself a lot of hugs and pats on the back for what you've already done and how far you've come. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
My gosh, my heart. What else we got? We got Jupiter. Where are you, Jupiter? Okay. You have Jupiter at the 0 degree of Sagittarius, which is very interesting to me because when it's at the 0 degree, that can that's a very like initiatory, birthing kind of moment. And so when you're at like the 0 or 1st degree of something, you might be expecting to have a huge expansion. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth, being kind of on that right over that cusp of your first and second house, so your sense of self and then kind of like your resources and how you make your life come into being. This could be a huge like identity arc for you. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, it's the archer. Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius sun.
Hmm.
So there's definitely a lot with Sagittarius that is about performance. Again, we kind of are coming back into like this podcast space of this may be very central to your identity and how you're planning to go forward and making your resources and making your life. And because it's on that 0 degree, it might feel a little bit like a newborn baby, you know, like it
Hmm.
might feel a little bit like, okay, and it might take a little bit more time.
Okay.
So got you've got Neptune and Uranus here, which is great. Uranus is very much about creation and beauty in some sense, the very dreamlike. Neptune is very focused on creativity and dreams. So this would be a good place to set some intentions around like some of the creative topics that you want to cover and maybe branching out to like two other topics. I know you're getting your doctor on the podcast, so it's like you're starting to maybe pull some things in that are a little bit different
Yeah.
what you initially intended for the podcast, but I think it could be very cool to see just like how far to push that.
Yeah. You're absolutely right with that. And do you see in any of those planets the lottery win I'm still waiting for?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Say I do see Saturn in your 12th house. It is in Scorpio. You are maybe there's a lot of like structure and discipline that maybe in again being in that life or death space of you may have to unlearn some sort of certain structures so that you can kind of like honor Saturn and find the discipline and structure in your own way that serves you. So just think about that because that Saturn can be very conducive to your financial gains.
It's so interesting. And this is not an ad. but I just recently downloaded the Rocket Money app to
Okay.
help me get a hold of my finances because, I'm always overspending. So now I'm finally at my age trying to learn to be better with money, to handle
That's
my
so
finances
great.
better. It's perfect what you just said. It's
That's perfect.
incredible.
Yeah, and finding the balance and, like, yeah, just figuring out your new structure that's gonna actually work for you.
It's insane.
Yeah, so, okay, we got a few more things. You wanna keep going?
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna just I'm gonna talk a little bit about like some of the transits that are happening right now. Again, we're gonna go back into the Pluto and Aquarius thing because it's such a huge thing that's happening right now for the collective, but also because it's your chart ruler, and it's a big deal for you individually too. So right now, Pluto is in your third house, so it's gonna be more in line with your communication and your mindset. It might take a little bit of like rewiring of some of your beliefs or communication habits or like the language that you've developed. That would be very third house. And then by the time it gets into your fourth house, it's we are looking at it conjuncting your Mars in like the mid 20s. But there's also going to be a time where it crosses the very bottom of your chart called the Imum Coli. And that will give you like a rebirth moment. It will likely be through like home, family, and roots. So, like, if you don't get back to Germany very often, that would be a really good time to think about going, doing some of like your ancestral research, doing like
Mhm.
the pilgrimage of your life.
Yeah.
That would be a
Interesting.
good moment to do that. But you will probably be focusing on like kind of clearing out some of those inherited stories and mental programming that you received, either like directly from your parentage or from just like your culture, and really transforming how you use your voice, both literally and also
Mhm.
energetically. It might be like, are you going to employ some like activism into the things that you talk about on your podcast? Like, there could be some ways in which you have to realize that your voice is really powerful and you have a platform and you can use it to do more than, make money or have fun or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, there could be something tied there. Um,
Yes.
let's see what else. Okay, we've got Saturn currently in Pisces right now, which is crossing your fifth house. And so this is a good time for you to structure your creativity, which I think like again, I'm relating it of course to the podcast and everything I know about you on TikTok. You're finding your way to structure that creativity,
Yeah.
joy. Are you maybe thinking on dating?
Oh my Yeah. I recently went on a speed dating hike
Oh my
like
god.
2 weeks ago.
Oh my god, that's perfect. So you're probably like you might be getting to the point where you're like, okay, I might be allowing romance back into my life. I have enough structure that I could entertain this now.
That's exactly where I'm at. I mean, I don't wanna go on the dating apps and really play the dating game, but
Yeah.
I'm starting to be at the crossroads where I'm thinking I might be open to meeting somebody, which is why I went on that hike. I
Wow.
mean, nothing came out of it, but, that's exactly where I'm at right now. So it's so funny that you're saying that.
That is amazing. And
Get out of my head.
I know. Well, I will say there's like another piece to this too, where like, and this may be getting a little bit personal, but especially just the things that we've talked about, there may be some aspect of like releasing guilt specifically around like pleasure that you experience or pleasure that you want to experience. So just like be very gentle on yourself. And if you are
Mhm.
having those feelings of like guilt or shame come up, know that like they have to come up so that you can remove them.
Interesting. I like that approach.
They have to come up. Yeah, we got to clean out the wounds.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay, we've also got Uranus, which is in Taurus. It's almost in Gemini, but not quite yet. And it is entering your eighth house. So this will be potentially a really good internal revolution around intimacy and sexuality and
Oh my
energetic
God.
elements.
Right.
I'm sensing some like love on the horizon for you.
Ooh, I'm ready. Bring it
Yeah,
on.
feeling some love on the horizon.
And not
You
a second dog. I don't want a second dog.
No, yeah, no, 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 no. Unless, like, maybe a future partner has a nice dog and they can be dog
Okay.
siblings.
That would work.
So that's exciting. You might also like have some realizations. I don't know if you like have any shared resources with anybody or you're in business with somebody else, or maybe like you're recognizing even some of the financial behaviors that like did your parents do something similar? And maybe that's why I was trained to do it in this way.
Mm,
It might just be a good time for some breakthroughs and realizations around that kind of stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
And more than even just finances, like thinking, like living in an apartment is a shared resource, right? Like there might be realizations around where you live or um where you work or things like that where it's like we need to take another look at like this resource because we're we're doing the same pattern over and over.
Funny, I just renewed my lease yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Was looking into moving, but with the surgery coming up and I couldn't really find a place that,
That would be
so I decided I'm gonna stay another year. So, but that
okay.
fits exactly the description.
That's perfect. Wow. This is going a lot better than I than I thought it
You're
would.
mind blowing me, like literally. That's I can't.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so then we've also got Jupiter in Cancer, and so you might be just like feeling even more heightened emotions. So being that planet of expansion,
Even more.
even more, it's like going where your moon is going and in your spirituality, in your space of spirituality. So just kind of be on the lookout for those emotions to be even like larger.
Get the tissues. Okay.
Yeah, get the tissues. I know. Hopefully there's like no rom-coms coming out because I can't handle
Well,
it. I
well,
did
actually,
just watch.
October and November is the month where all the good stuff is coming. What's that show called with the rabbi? Nobody wants that.
Oh, yes, when Kirsten with
That's a
Kirsten.
rom com.
Yes, that's such a
Season
good
2 is
show.
coming out.
Oh my god, that will make me cry.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. I love seeing people fall in love. Like it oh my god, it makes me so happy.
And Adam Brody, come on.
So cute. I know. And then he's married to Gossip Girl Leighton Meester, who is like an icon, so I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Also, I just watched have you ever watched Practical Magic?
No.
Okay, such a perfect moment. It's a spooky season movie. It's kind of a rom-com. It's with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, and they are witches, and it's kind of like
Oh, I
their
know of it.
experiences in life, but they have a curse on them that any man that they love will die.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah. I know of that movie. I don't think
you
I've
have
ever
to
watched
watch
it.
it. I watch
Okay,
it
I
every
will.
single year. You have to watch it. You will cry. It'll be great.
Perfect. With the surgery coming up, I have 2 weeks off, so I need to fill my days. So send any
I
recommendations my
will.
way.
Yeah, you need like shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'll send you some.
Yeah.
I just watched The Studio on Apple TV. It was really good. Um, I'll think of some other things. I know Stranger Things is coming back, but I don't know if it's coming back before Halloween.
I don't know. I've never watched Stranger Things. I've never gotten into them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be a good one to
The
binge.
chicken.
You should
Mm,
binge Stranger Things while you're out, and then the last season's gonna come out in like early November, I think.
okay, I'll try.
Yeah, it's again a spooky season series.
Yeah.
For sure. You'll like that one. Okay. And then we've got the moon currently in Virgo, which is in your 10th house of career. So you might be feeling that emotional, like you might be feeling like emotionally seen and raw. And I don't know, I know I've been feeling this. Like if people comment on TikTok and they like critique or they start and they're like, actually, it like hits me really hard.
It does, right? It hurts.
Or, like, even not getting the likes or views on things, that might
Yeah.
kind of coming up on things too, where it's like, "I'm putting all this energy into this. I like, why isn't it hitting?" That could definitely be something with this, like, moon in Virgo happening right now. And that's, like, very specific to, like, today. The moon moves signs almost every day,
Mm.
every 2 days or so. So just kind of, like, keep your focus towards, like, being aligned with who you truly are and embodying that and like giving to people whether that is like entertainment or fun content or just giving a smile to a stranger, just kind of like try to keep your focus towards like we're doing good things for people and it'll come back to you
I
tenfold.
love that. You know that I'm wearing a shirt today that says on the front and huge on the back, "Be kind to people."
I love that. I think mine says feeling good, and it's like the good vibe club.
I love that. That's perfect for you. Amazing. You're my big sister. I keep saying it. We
I
could be
know,
twins.
yeah, we look like we're twinning, like, every time.
Yes.
Well, amazing. Yeah, there's a couple more things. Saturn being in your 5th house right now may just like feel like you've got some creative blocks on the things that you're building or creating. So if you can find a way to turn that into some sort of like ritual or structure, if you feel that creative block, maybe go, I don't know if you have, a place that you go and like light a candle for people or whatever, go sit there and just kind of like make a ritual of it and say like, I release this,
Hmm.
and maybe ask your cousin for some help. You
Yeah.
never know. It could point some things, like some synchronicities could pop up. Obviously, I will say that like if you're seeing that many synchronicities, it seems like somebody's got a message for you. So
Okay.
if you can find a way to like do some deep meditation or just like really pay attention to those synchronicities. I know for me recently, I saw so many butterflies and I was just like, what is this? And so I kind of like, I was like, I got to sit with this butterfly thing for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see that on the clock, pay attention to like what you're doing, how you're feeling, and maybe there's something there that you can really like that could like spark something for you.
Interesting.
Yeah. You're gonna have some big life shifts with Pluto going over your Imum Coli, and then you'll have Jupiter going over your MC, your midheaven, which is like your career and kind of like your trajectory in this life. So you'll probably have some big life shifts. I mean, won't we all? But especially in the next like 5 years or so.
I hope the podcast will take off. That would be a huge life shift, right? Quitting my 9 to 5 and just doing that, that would be amazing.
Yes. Let's manifest it. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
I love it. Amazing.
Do you have any questions or like,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
how did you learn that? That is so much knowledge you have there. Like, how did you get into that?
So many different ways, and I feel like again it's like I can't say I'm a professional astrologer because I never learned from a professional astrologer, and that would be like the ultimate mentor that I'd love to have. But I listened to a bunch of astrologers. My favorite one, her name is Chani. Check her out. I listen to hers every single week, and she gives a personal horoscope based on your rising sign. So it's like rather than your sun sign, your rising sign is a lot more like true to who you are and who you want to be. So I
Mhm.
prefer that. And it also can show you where everything is landing in all of your houses. So it just gives a much more well rounded view. So I learn a lot from her. I also have like this high priestess that I follow that I'm going to butcher her name, but it's Valkyria Voldor. And she just has a really accessible way of speaking about astrology. But I've also tried to read a couple books. I I love I'm a there's definitely some pattern recognition things going on here. So when I learn that like a house is ruled by a planet that resonates with a certain chakra, then it like, ooh,
Mhm.
now I get it. But I also like I do turn to my chat GPT a lot. I ask it, but I have to ask it specific questions. I'm like, "Oh, I see that the sun is going to be transiting my Saturn in my 4th house, blah, blah, blah. Tell me about that." Because if you don't have that, like one thing that AI can't do right now is actually know what transits are happening, or sometimes it forgets things. It forgets like
Mhm.
which part of the chart it's in. So it's not super reliable, but it can give you at least some of the information in terms of like, what does it mean when this planet is conjunct this planet here? So but you kind of got to understand what the symbols all mean.
This is so interesting to me. I mean, that's a complete new world to me. I love it. Thank you so much for giving me all that. I have
Yeah.
one more question for you, and it goes a little deeper. It seems like you're almost looking into the future a little bit when you're looking in astrology, right? Would you want to know how much longer you have to live?
Oh my gosh, I have actually had that thought before, and Personally, no. Personally, no. I think it would add too much stress
Yeah.
or let me be too lazy. Like, there's
Right.
something about and I think that, like, I've got a lot of Scorpio in my chart too, so maybe you and I can relate on this, but, like, there's something about having mortality, knowing that you will die, that this will all end, and not knowing when that is, that gives you the, like, ignition and the force in life to find what you enjoy, to find what you're meant to do, to find meaning behind it. Because like, if we were gonna live forever, nothing would mean anything,
Yeah.
you
True.
know? So, yeah, I don't but I have heard people that are like, they can kinda give you a rough guess. I would be lying if I said that I have never looked into it. I definitely have, like, kind of looked into it. It just, like, even I'm like, "Based on this in my chart, like, when might I die?" There's also things you can look at for, like, how your things in your body, so each planet, each house is gonna resonate with, like, a specific place in your body. So you could say, like, "Okay, am I gonna get some illnesses here,
Mm.
like, at this time period?" So, like, there's things that you can kind of look out for. I think if anybody told you they could predict when you were dying, they'd be lying, or that's just mean.
Right. Yeah. It would be interesting to know though, right? Is it soon
Yeah,
or do I still have a lifetime to live, you know?
right. Have you seen that movie with, Justin Timberlake where, like, their currency is time and they, like, wear they have, like, on their arm, it's like they have how much time they have left?
Oh, no, I haven't.
That's an interesting one, and then I always think of it like this because basically, like, the really wealthy people are gonna live for however long, and they just, like, keep taking life from other people, and he is on this one side of the world where, like, he's poor and he has to, like, he's, like, gonna die in 24 hours if he doesn't, like, get money, basically.
Interesting.
So
That's how
I
I feel.
always
That's why I was asking about the lottery win.
I know. I would be if I could predict that, I'd be in a different place too.
That's amazing. Molly, thank you so much. That was so interesting.
Yes.
Before we end out this episode, I do have a couple games to play with you. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm so
Okay.
ready.
So the first game is called Swift or the Stars, and it's a this or that format,
Okay.
kind of. Okay. So the first one is lover era or reputation era,
Reputation, hands down.
Mercury retrograde meltdown or full moon glow up.
Full moon glow up.
Always.
Yeah.
Write it in your journal or manifest it to the universe.
I mean, both, but I'm a big journaler. I journal a lot.
I do too. I mean, I do it every night. I have an app just to get
Yeah.
the thoughts out that helps me with my anxiety, but I could be better about it, I must admit.
Yeah.
Reading birth charts or reading people's energy.
Ooh. I I feel like reading people's birth charts. Because I feel like I can read people's energy, but when I get their birth chart, I'm like, "Oh."
That
It
makes sense.
makes way more sense. Yeah.
I love that.
Changes.
Yeah. Coffee and chaos or crystals and calm.
I wish I could say crystals and calm, but, like, coffee and chaos, I kind of love.
I hear it. The second game I have for you and the last game, because I think we're also at the end of our time here, star sign energy. So a little further into this. And it's also this or that type of game. And the first one is planner queen, which I know you are, or go with the flow girl.
I try to be both. I mean, like, I feel like I plan a lot because it it takes some of the stress out of things, but once I
Yeah.
plan, then I can, like, go with the flow, and I actually don't even care if the plan goes that way.
I'm the same way, like you and I, twin sisters. I
Yeah,
need a plan for my anxiety. I cannot just live into the day. I need a little bit of a plan,
yeah,
but I don't care if the plan doesn't come to fruition. I'm spontaneous.
exactly. Yes.
Funny. Flirt in the DMs or ghost in peace.
I mean, oh, man. I'm married, so I can't really do the flirting, but I am a flirt, so, like, I guess I'll choose that one. I would
Love it.
look yeah, I don't know if I could ghost somebody.
See, I'm not for ghosting either.
Yeah,
I know people like that and they're like, no, if it's over, it's over. And, you know, nothing else will say. I like closure. Just
Yeah,
tell me you weren't feeling it and we both move on.
same.
Yeah. I'm the same way. See, twins.
Twins.
Homebody binge night or social butterfly? There's your butterfly again.
I'm again a little bit of both because like I love to just be alone and watch my shows and be home. But then sometimes I'm like, I just want to go out and I want to do karaoke and I'm going to drink too much and I want to dance and like go hard. I want to regret decisions tomorrow.
Oh my God, we need to hang out. I love that. In the same way, I black out easily, so I won't remember the shit I've done. So even better.
Right. Yeah, then it's fine. I'll tell you a funny story. I was out with my friends last weekend. We went to like haunted houses and I typically am the one that's like kind of the party girl and all of that. I woke up so hungover, but I was like everybody else in my group acted so insane that I had no anxiety. I was like everybody else was so unhinged that I was like, "Wow, good job, Molly."
It sounds like the fun night.
It was hilarious. I don't know if it was for them, but I was having a great time watching.
I love that. That's amazing. Petty bitch or forgiving angel?
I'm a forgiver, but
Tell me what.
I can be petty, but, like, I like to love my enemy.
Hmm.
That's, like, the best vengeance that I can get is I'm like, "I'm not indifferent to you, I don't hate you, I love you, and I see the pain that you're feeling." And then maybe that becomes, like, pity.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Is a Capricorn known for stubbornness? Because I feel like I can be very stubborn with that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And
Huh.
Taurus, yeah.
That makes sense. Romantic daydreamer or realist with receipts?
I feel like life has turned me into a realist,
I
but
know.
we've gotta maintain the romantic daydreamer. 'Cause,
I
like
feel like that adulting does that to you.
it does, yeah. We're just beaten down, you know? Like, we're tired.
No, for real. We are tired. All right, the last one I have is text back fast or never reply.
I'm a text back fast.
Me too.
Yeah. 'Cause if I don't, then I will never reply. I'll forget.
That can happen when I'm too busy, or it will just give me anxiety because I have it like looming over me. I know I still have to reply.
Yeah, I can't handle when things are on the list.
Yeah, and I get very frustrated with people who don't reply within like 5 days. Like, it takes them 5 days to reply. I get really frustrated with that.
I agree. I think that's rude.
Yeah.
I know
Here,
you have your phone. I know you have your phone.
no, for real, right? And you can be busy and, working 24/7, but don't you ever go to the bathroom? Like, you can sit there and text.
Yeah, do a voice text. I don't care if there's misspelled words in there.
Right, exactly. No, I feel the same way. Molly, I loved having you on again. I can't wait for our next time. Please tell the bitch besties one more time where they can follow you and where they can find the application.
Of course. So you can follow me on TikTok at Her Sharpness and find the Vibe Quotient at thevibequotient.com.
I love it. I'm going to play with that more. I'll give you more feedback on it.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It is
No,
so
thank you so
lovely
much
to
for
meet
coming
you.
on again. I love doing the podcast with you. And for the bitch besties, as I mentioned, I have surgery next week. So the next week's episode will be a bonus episode for you, something to look forward to. And then we're back on the regular schedule. I can't talk, I told you. On the regular schedule the following week. Bitch besties, let us know what you think. Let me know what your sign is. Give Molly feedback on the vibe quotient. I can't pronounce that word. Vibe quotient?
You're good.
Told you I can talk. I just can't talk. Just read the caption. Don't listen to me. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming on. Cheers,
Bye.
bitches. Bye. That was it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are as excited and opinionated as Peanut and me, please give us a follow on Instagram at the Judgy Bitch Pod. And don't forget, please also tell everybody you know about this new podcast so they come and follow us as well. We would much appreciate it. Would you like to be part of it? Sure, go ahead. Send us a DM with your feedback, your hot takes, and your unapologetic opinions. We might read them next time. And last but not least, don't forget, please follow, review, and rate wherever you listen to this podcast. See you next week. Cheers, bitches.